Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. So you started playing Hades and you've been really struggling to escape the underworld. Well, in this video I'm gonna go through with you in details for two easy builds but still extremely strong that hopefully will get you through your first escape. Now I want you to keep something in your mind that when you in Hades game, when you plan to go for a certain build, and not every run you will get everything that you're looking for. So that's fine, just give it another try or two and let us know in the comment section how many tries it took you to manage to escape. So having said that, let's dive into the video. For the first build, we will go with Aegis Shield as a weapon. This is an extremely powerful weapon if you learn how to play it well. It's even one of the best weapons in the end game. The reason this weapon is strong is the first thing, you can block almost all attacks and projectiles while you're holding down your attack, and this is extremely strong defensive ability. And the second thing is once you release that, you will be able to dash to another position, which will call repositioning yourself, and this is the key for overcoming any encounter in Hades. And the last thing is because your attacks have a pushback effect, and this effect will do three things. The first thing, it will interrupt enemies attacks and cast, and it will initiate wall slam and body slam, which basically means the enemies will take an extra damage if you push them back and slammed a wall or slammed another body of an enemy, which is always good to get an extra damage from this kind of things. So as this guys is meant for your first clear, I will not include any investment of Titan Bloods to unlock other aspects. And we will do it with the first aspect, which is aspect of Zagreus. Now, the more you upgrade the aspect with Titan Blood, it will just deal more damage and it will just make your run smoother. We will build this shield focusing only on our attacks and dash attacks. This will be our source for our damage output. We will not be using our special or cast a lot, and we will aim for Artemis boons on our attacks, as it will give us a chance to get a critical hit. Now in Hades, critical damage modifier, it's 3 times your normal damage, so criticals are pretty strong in Hades. So for example, if your attack hits 400, your critical will hit for 300. Now, to get Artemis boons, we would need to equip Artemis Keepsake, which is Adamant Arrowhead. This will force the first boon you will get to be from Artemis, which is essential in our run. Now, if you don't have the Keepsake of Artemis, the next time you meet Artemis, just gift her a nectar and she will give you in return the Adamant Arrowhead. Now, our aim is to get both Deadly Strike and Hunter Dash, which will increase both our attack and dash attack damage, and it will give us a 15% chance to do a critical with any of them. Now, this will give us a good head start and to have a decent damage output. During your run, all your bomb upgrades should go on your attack or dash attack only. Also, if you find any chaos gates, make sure to enter them and try to look for the buffs that will increase the damage of your attacks or your dash attacks. This will let you hit really hard. Now, our next step is to get any buff from Aphrodite. Ideally, will work best here if you can get her boon on your special, which is Heartbake Flourish. So do not equip any buff on your special until you meet Aphrodite, and you should be sorted. The reason we would want to do that is so we can unlock the duo boon with both Artemis and Aphrodite, which is Heartrend, and this will make your weak affected enemies get hit by 150% more from your criticals. So again, if you hit your enemy for 100, your criticals now will be 450, which is insane. Now, for any duo boon to appear for you, you need first to have a pre-requirement, which is to have at least one buff from each of the relative god. Now, this way you can open every encounter by throwing your shield which is as your special to any enemy to inflict weak on them, and then dash and hit them. You will be melting down enemies very easily. Now, of course, try to get as many Artemis buffs as you can, as this will increase your critical chance damage, like a pressure points, clean kill, or hunter's mark. These are not essential, but it's a great upgrade for your build. Now also it's great to add to this build Battle Rage from Ares if you ever encounter Ares during run, which will also increase your hits once every while by 100 to 250%. Now for the hammers will play an essential role in our build, but it's too bad that we cannot force a certain pick in the hammers, and we just have to go with the best option of what we will be offered. Now here are the best hammer options that you should go for, and I order them by the best. I wouldn't say to worst, I would say to least best. So the first or the best hammer that you should be getting is pulverizing blow. This will make your attack hit twice, and of course you have a chance to critical, so you'll have a chance to crit twice on both attacks. So this will basically double your damage, which is by far the best hammer you can get for this build. The second hammer you should be looking for is charge shot, which will make your bull rush change into a piercing shot that will deal a very decent amount of damage, especially if you have Artemis on your attack. The third one is empowering flight, which is after you hit anyone with your special, the next two attacks will deal to 80% more damage. Of course, this will increase a lot with every critical that you will do. Ferocious guard, of course, after blocking any attack, you will get a 20% extra damage and movement speed, which also will triple with your criticals. Sudden rush will make your bull rush charge much faster, which will make you just reposition yourself much faster. And dashing wallop will make your dash attacks deal 50% damage in a large area. So any dash attack damage, it will half of it will affect the area where you will land. So basically this is everything that you need to get for your boons and your hammers. Now the last thing that we will go through here is the best talents that you can pick from the Mirror of the Night for this build. Now this will not be essential in your build, as it will just boost and increase the damage output and will make your run easier. But even if you are still at the early stage of the game and you didn't unlock any of them yet, that's fine. Your build will still be very strong without them. Now for any critical build, you will need to look for anything that will increase your damage, as criticals have a multiplier by 300%, so any extra buff will be multiplied as well by 300%. Having said that, let's see which talents of the Mirror of the Night will increase our damage. Your first pick should be Fury Presence, as this will add 75% more damage to the initial hits that you will do to the enemies. That's a great buff and you should go for it. Boiling blood also is a good buff that will add another 50% more damage to enemies if you have a bloodstone stuck in them. High confidence also will give you another 25% more damage when you are above 80% health. Now you go for this one if you can maintain a high health during your run, as it will deactivate immediately if you drop below 80%. Also here I would go for the family favorite, as it gives us a flat bonus of around 25% damage, 5% for each Olympian god, and normally you get 5 different gods every run, so a total of 25%. It's more consistent than privileged status for this build. So guys, as we mentioned earlier, this is an easy build and a straightforward. So go pick up your weapon, pick up your keepsake, sort out the talents in the Mirror of the Night, then head into the run, get the boons and duos sorted, get the best hammers that you can get, and then you'll be hitting like a truck. And it should be easy for you now, or much easier for you now, to get your first escape, to achieve your first escape. Now, meanwhile you're playing, if you enjoyed the play style of the shield and you like to learn more about the shield, I link on the top right of the screen the guide that I made for each aspect of the shield and how to play each aspect, and the best and the top builds for each aspect. So make sure to check that out to learn more about the Shield of Chaos. Now let's go check the other amazing build to get your first escape sorted. The second build is completely the opposite of the first one when it comes to the damage, the numbers of the damage. So instead of having huge numbers from our criticals, we will have much smaller numbers, but they will be all over the place. And we will rely completely on Zeus to do that, as he will let us easily cleave down our enemies. Now for this we will be using the Twin Fist of Malphon as a weapon for two reasons. The first reason is they deliver very fast attacks, which will work best with Zeus boons, as you will see. And the second reason is most of our attacks are guaranteed hits, because we will be in a very close range, we will be in melee range of the enemies, and all of our attacks will be successful. Hence all the effects we will get from Zeus will be implemented on each of our hits, which is very strong. Now also this build will work on any aspect that you choose of the Twin Fists, and it works pretty well with aspect of Zagreus, to be honest, which is the free aspect that you get. And if you invest any Titan Bloods in this aspect to upgrade it, it will not affect your build at all. Like, it will not increase the damage, it will just increase your defensive status and your survivability chance. After equipping our fist, let's go and pick Zeus Keepsake, which is Thunder Signet, to guarantee to meet Zeus immediately. Now if you don't have it, it works the same as Artemis and as any other god. Once you meet Zeus, gift him a nectar, and in return he will trade his signet with you. First thing that you would need to get from Zeus is lightning strike on your attacks to generate a lightning bolt that will bounce 4 times between enemies. Now it will not deal a lot of damage at the start of the run, but we will boost its damage along with the run. So the key for this build is to meet Zeus as many times as possible. So try to save your gold until you go to the shop of Charon, and in case you get a boon from Zeus, make sure to pick it up, or in the Temple of Styx you will be offered different boons to purchase. Make sure to buy all the Zeus boons there as well. You should not split your focus on anything else. Just whenever you see, or whenever there is a chance to meet Zeus, just go for it. This should be your top priority. Below I will list all the necessary boons that is essential for this build, and we'll order them by priority. So as we mentioned, lightning strike should be your first priority and the first thing to get. Your second priority will be static discharge, which will make your lightning effects also make the enemies jolted, which means they will get hit for a good and decent amount of damage the next time they attack, regardless if their attack hits you or not. The next time they execute an attack, they will get hit. The reason this is a second priority, because all other boons that we will get from Zeus, it will trigger a static discharge. The third one on the list will be Zeus legendary boon, which is splitting bolts, which will make any lightning effects to create an additional burst that will hit for 40. Now this you will not get it at the early in the early game, at the beginning of your run. but it's a priority. The fourth thing on the list is the double strike, which will basically give you a chance to double any lightning bolt, and will almost double the lightning damage output that you will be dealing, and it will take your build to a next level. The next one will be high voltage, which will make your lightning bolts effects deal damage in a larger area, which will massively increase your reach to hit enemies with your lightning effects. And the last thing will be Zeus aid. This will be on your call and will repeatedly hit enemies with lightning effects, and this will help you and will be extremely useful in bosses and mini bosses fights, as it will help you to melt down their health much faster. Now that's all what you need to make this build work. Now of course any other Zeus boons, they will come in handy, but are not essential for this build. So feel free to pick any other boons once you get the previous one sorted. Now let's talk about the hammers. The hammers won't play an essential role in this build, and any choice you will take will be just fine. So having said that, below are the best, like the top 3 hammers for this build. The first one will be the long knuckle, which will extend your range and give you a 10% more damage. The second one will be the rolling knuckle, which will increase your combo attacks by dashing to dash strike, execute a dash strike in between your combos. And the third one will be the Colossus knuckle, which will make you take less damage meanwhile you attack, which will increase again your survivability. Just make sure just never pick a heavy knuckle in this build under any circumstances, because it will just make your attack much slower and it will make this build much less efficient. Now, as you noticed, this build is much simpler. It's even simpler and easier than the build that we talked about earlier, because it doesn't rely on any hammers, it doesn't rely on any duo boons, and it doesn't rely on anything from any talents from Mirror of the Night. And still, it's an extremely strong build. So give it a try and let us know what do you think about this build. And again, if you enjoy the playstyle of the Twin Fists and you want to explore and know more and learn more about them, I made an amazing guide for them that goes also for every aspect, the playstyle of every aspect and the top builds for every aspect. I'll link it on the top right of the screen, so make sure to check that as well. So guys, that's everything you need to know for both of these builds. If you still have a question, then let me know in the comment section below, or join me on my stream. My link for my Twitch channel is in the description as well. You can ask me any questions there, and we can even try new builds together and experience new builds. I hope you liked this video, and I really wish it helped you. It's gonna help you out in your first run. So I would love if you hit the like button, so this video will reach out to more gamers that are trying to escape the underworld. And also hit the subscribe button if you're interested and you want to stay tuned for the next and the upcoming guides that I make. Thank you for watching, and see you on next video.